The creative process begins with what we are calling step one, which is your coming into conscious realization of something you want. That's step one, asking. So life just causes you to ask all day, every day, doesn't it? When you don't have enough money, don't you know you want more? When you don't feel good, don't you know you want to feel better? If you're ornery, don't you want to be more clear and playful? If someone else is ornery, don't you want them to be more clear and playful? In other words, life causes you to launch these vibrational rockets of desire, and you are doing it all day, every day. So you emanate this vibration of desire, and when you emanate this vibration of desire, the source within you lines up with it. And when we say the source within you, we're talking about your inner being. Yes, sometimes you call that your soul. We're talking about what you call source, or what we call source. We're also talking about all those who have lived and know you and know of you and are interested in what you're about. We're talking about those who have been here, who have been interested in the things that you are interested in. We're talking about your parents if they have moved into non-physical. We're talking about their parents. We're talking about your friends. We're talking about the masters that you revere in all phases of life. We're talking about everyone who has ever lived is interested. Don't be humble. Please accept this. Interested in you and what you are about right here and now. But the question is, where's your vibrational frequency? What are you tuned to? Are you tuned to the desire, or are you tuned to the absence of your desire? When you say, I want more money, are you feeling the exhilaration of the freedom that that prosperity will bring to you, and the freedom to be or do or have whatever you are wanting? Or are you focused upon the not enoughness of it? You can tell by the way you feel, because every subject is two subjects, wanted and absence of it. And the way you feel is your indicator of which you are doing. And it is our promise to you that source within you is never focused upon the absence of your desire. Ooh, so good to know, because that means when you do, you're gonna feel it. You're going to feel discouraged. You're going to feel disappointment. You're going to feel blameful or critical in some way. You might feel fearful. There are all ranges of emotions, and the stronger it feels negatively, the more out of connection you are with your own desire. And the more you are putting the limitations, we call it throwing the resistance, on your own trail, making yourself blind and deaf to the impulses that you would be able to follow if you were tuned into the frequency of who you are. So that's what step three is. Step three is you syncing up with your own desires. It's you syncing up with your own vibrational version of your own desires. And when you do, then wonderful things begin to happen. Jerry was always talking about how he wanted to write a book called Turning Thoughts to Things. So we are, with Esther's fast fingers and computers, putting that book into reality now. Turning thoughts to things. How do you turn thoughts to things? How does your world become the see it, hear it, smell it, taste it, touch it world that you are accustomed to? And more important, why is it that you as humans mostly think that you've got to see it and hear it and smell it and taste it and touch it before you can believe it? Because that's just regurgitation. That's just looking at what is. That's just sort of maintaining the status quo of wanted and unwanted. But if you want to step in to being the deliberate creator that you were born to be, then you must find a way to become vibrationally active within your own vibrational reality. And that vibrational reality is so important, we wrote a whole book about it. You see it out there on the table. It's called Getting Into the Vortex. It's called The Vortex and Getting Into the Vortex. We wrote about it and talked about it for quite a while, because we want to convince you that there is a vibrational reality that you have access to, that you can feel while you can't necessarily see it, not in the beginning. You can feel it through your emotions. And when you tune into it by caring about the way you feel, then what begins to happen is you are now in the receiving mode, or in the allowing mode, where you are now the translator of impulses and thoughts and ideas and movements that put you on the track of the unfolding of the manifestation that you want. And the most important thing for you to understand is that it is that process of the unfolding of your desires that is what the joy of life is all about. You did not say, I'll go forth, I'll think it, and bam, it will be. You said, I'll go forth and I'll sift and sort, and with some consideration, I will personally define and importantly define what is important to me and what I would like to see. And then you said, and then I will tune myself to the frequency of that desire, and I will follow the impulses, and I will be the molder of the clay that brings my ideas into reality. Recently, Esther and so many friends like you met in Seattle to get on board a ship to cruise the Alaskan waters. We spent a week together on a beautiful vessel. The ship left from Seattle. It's where everyone met. It's where everyone got on board. And it was also where the ship ended up after the week. It's where everybody got off the ship. Wouldn't it have been interesting if the captain had said, ladies and gentlemen, I see you have boarded this magnificent vessel. This is also where you will be disembarking. And so it's been very nice seeing you. Now get off. You are now at the end of your itinerary. If you will check your itinerary, you will see it begins and ends here, so get off. Of course, that feels silly because no one got on to get off. No one began the journey to end the journey. Everyone went for the joy along the way, for the unfolding along the way. And yet so often you want your fortune to come now, your lover to come now. We want you to enjoy the journey. We want you to enjoy your self-discovery. We want you to feel the fullness and importance of your own desire. We want you to focus on your own desire. We want you to flesh it out with your imagination. We want you to watch for evidence of it. We want you to be expectant of it. We want you to not kill your own desire with the facing of reality, because you didn't come here to face reality. You came to create reality. You are the creator of your own reality, you see. And so it is so much fun to be you, to be in your physical body, sifting and sorting and gathering the data and launching the desires. And it's so much fun for us because once you launch a desire, we give our undivided attention to it. We keep the light on it all the time. We hold the vibrational frequency of your desire from the moment that you give birth to it, and every amendment that you give to it, we add that to what we are focused upon as well. And that, if you've been listening to us at all for these few minutes that we've been addressing you, that is why you feel emotion. When you are in tune with your own desire, you feel elation, you feel satisfaction, you feel eagerness, you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, you're frisky. But when you doubt your own desire, you feel uncomfortable, you feel discord, you feel not enough, you feel blameful or self-critical, you feel guilty, you feel fearful. And so your emotions are your key to understanding whether you are in this moment in the state of allowing yourself to be receptive of the impulses. And how fun it is. Don't you find yourself saying, oh, I just got the best idea. You know why? You were in the receptive mode. You weren't focusing in a way that disallowed you from translating that. That's all Esther's doing here. She's in the receptive mode. She's tuned in, tapped in, turned on. She is up to speed with the frequency of the source within her. And so we can speak freely and openly and seamlessly. We can offer a block of thought to her and she can translate it into the physical word equivalent without any hesitation whatsoever, because she's in sync with who we are, and every one of you can be too, you see. This is not an anomaly. This is the way you meant it to be. This is the way you were born. This is the way your little kids are. Don't talk them out of it. When they have an impulse, don't try to hammer them as a square peg into a round hole or other way around into what society is demanding from them. Give them the freedom to translate the source perspective, because source has a broad perspective. Do you know that your inner being knows everything that you are asking for and knows where you stand in vibrational proximity to it, and knows how to guide you through the path of least resistance to each and everything that you want? Through the path of least resistance, did you hear those words? Which is the same thing as the path of most allowance. Path of least resistance, meaning that if you're like most people, you've thrown some resistance on your trail because you've lived life, you've seen things you don't want, and you've got some stuff active in your vibration. So when you ask for something, sometimes there's some vibration that's in the way, but your inner being knows all of the vibrations that you've put in your way and is calling you around it. That's why it takes you a little while to get there, because you sort of have to go over and around and under and through the resistance that you've put there. So when we get together with you, our dominant intent is to help you feel a desire to get more and more resistance out of your way. In other words, feel better more of the time, which means you got to understand law of attraction, because whatever you're focused upon, law of attraction is going to add to. So if you catch your negative thought, your negative pushing against something, if you catch your defying your own desire in the early stages before it gathers much momentum, it's easier to stop. Esther will never forget her first time on top of a hill in San Francisco. She couldn't believe it. She couldn't believe that people actually lived there and drove up and down those hills. Wouldn't it be interesting if you were top of one of those hills, you take your car out of gear, you take the parking brake off, and you just stand outside of it, put it in neutral, and nudge it just a little bit from behind, because you're sort of interested in what will happen to your car. Well, it's not a big mystery, is it? Because you know that the momentum of that car is going to become quite quickly. But if you realize it and you just step out in front of it and let it bump up against you, no big deal. But you wouldn't want to be at the bottom of the hill stopping that car, because that momentum is hard to stop. And that really is the point that we're making about your thoughts. If you can catch the momentum early and choose a different thought, it's easy to do that. But if there is momentum, don't beat up on yourself. It's nearly impossible to stop a strong thought all at once. Train's going 80 miles an hour that way, you wouldn't want it all of a sudden to go 80 miles an hour that way. It would be very hard on what's inside the train. And that's true of you too. Just let it slow down and then let it speed up. And that's what deliberate creating really is. So the first order of business is caring about how you feel. Caring about how you feel, which means you are aware that you have a guidance system, which means you are aware that you have things in your vibrational reality, in your vortex, in your vibrational reality, and that source energy is giving you clues and ideas and impulses and thoughts that if you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on, if you're feeling good, you're going to catch those in the early subtle stages. And what begins to happen when you're flowing like that, you begin to feel the ease and flow of your life experience. Almost as quickly as you define that you'd like something, things start actualizing around it. And what fun it is to be in that conscious awareness of the entire universe having your back, the entire universe assisting you in each and everything you want. Not just some of the things, all of the things. And often when you get really good at this, which means when you clear your energy really well, when you're feeling good more and more of the time, the things you want that get dovetail into one moment in time will knock your socks off. It's just wonderful to be living in that sort of deliberate allowing phase.